Welcome back to TaraChessAcademy. Today we're going to watch the first game from the World Championship match.
Yeah, hi everyone. Today we're gonna watch the game that Magnus Carlsen and Jan Nepomniachtchi played. So we decided to explain something to you about the opening idea that Magnus decided to use. It's really nice. And of course, we're gonna watch the final position and see the result of today's game. So let's start. In the first game, Magnus got black color and Nepomniachtchi played white. So let's see what happened on the chessboard. E4, E5, yeah, it's an opening. Bishop B5. So what's the opening is it? Do you know?
This is called the Roy Lopez defense.
Yeah. So Bishop B5, yeah, I think it's one of the most popular openings and it's really nice. So I think usually both white and black have good chances in this opening. So A6, knight F6, yeah, just typical position, one of the most popular. So B5, yeah, because after the pawn on E4 is defended, white just has a plan to capture the knight and capture the black pawn on E5. So that's why, yeah, black has a choice, like to protect it like D6, yeah, or just to play B5, what happened in the game. So bishop goes to B3. Castle, yeah. So probably Magnus had a plan to start martial attack and later to play d5. Yes, it happens. It could happen if white plays c3 in this position. So it's a popular idea. Yeah, if you want to avoid Marshall's attack, you just play h3. And this is what happened in the game. This is what Jan Nepomniachtchi did. So he played h3. So of course, in this position, d5 is not a good idea anymore. So, but Magnus still decided to sacrifice the pawn. He found a very nice plan. Actually, not he found, yeah, he used in this game a very nice plan. So he played knight to a5. Yeah, let me just take this move back and explain something to you. If you in real Lopez want to trap the bishop, yeah, usually this bishop is very nice, so it's a typical plan to trade this knight to the bishop. Usually, most of the times, you have to protect the pawn first, yeah, because when we play knight a5, you see that the pawn is undefended, so black loses the pawn. In this position, it's a possible plan, so it's not a mistake, it's just a sacrifice. But if you play Lopez or some other openings, just most of the times, it should be good for you if you protect the pawn first, yeah? So let's see what happened in the game and why actually Magnus wants to sacrifice the pawn. What does he get after this? Yeah, so of course, white has to capture the pawn because it's not possible to save this bishop. And if white doesn't take the pawn, it means that black gets this bishop for free. Yeah, so that's why knight takes e5 is a usual move. Yeah, knight takes b3. So, Tara, what ideas do you have? Which pawn should capture the knight? Yeah, because white has two pawns that can capture. So, what do you think would be better?
I think it's better to capture with the A pawn because then it would open up the rook. So when you capture the A pawn, it would be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, I agree with you. And usually in chess, we can also use the rule like all pawns want to get closer to the center. So in most of the positions, yeah, you can just capture to the pawn that gets closer to the center. But of course, sometimes there would be exceptions to the rules. Yeah, and of course, if c pawn takes, so maybe, yeah, it's not so good. I don't see the reason why to open this file. So yeah, of course, it's a2 takes b3. Yeah, we want to open a file for the rook. Yeah. So let's discuss why actually Magnus decided to sacrifice the pawn. So now, yeah, you see that black has advantage of two bishops. And of course, after this, probably black has to try to open the position more because bishops would be much stronger in the open position, yeah, not in closed position. So now it's time to develop the light square bishop. And interesting moment in the game, yeah? So black has two attacking pieces and white has just one defender. So let's think if it would be a nice plan to play knight c3 in this position, yeah, to develop a new piece, the knight, and protect the pawn. So Tara, what do you think? Should I play knight c3 in this position?
Knight c3, it seems like a possible move because you're developing a new piece to the center, and you're also, when you do knight c3, you're protecting the pawn. But this is not a good move because we can remove the knight, we can make the knight move away, and then black can get the pawn back.
Yeah. So we can just play before in this position, right? Knight has to move away and we get the pawn. So yeah, it's also one like uncomfortable thing, I would say, for white. Yeah, instead of development, white has to move the pawn. I don't think that playing f3 would be such a good idea. Yeah, now you see that white has weak dark squares, so not good. Yeah, and of course, I would be happy to see this pawn in the center. Yeah, but d2 has to move to d3 and protect the pawn. So it's some inconvenience that white gets for the extra pawn. Yeah. So as we said before, if you have two bishops, usually you have to open the position. Yeah, so Tara, what ideas do you have? How can black open position? What should black do?
We can move our pawn to d5.
Yeah, you're right. So pawn goes to d5. Yeah, so white captures. And now, yeah, so one more, like we break the rules again because we want to move the queen to the center. Yeah, not a knight. We just want to capture with the queen. And you see, we have a plan to make the king in one move. Again, you remember why pawn to f3 is not a good idea. Yeah, no one wants to get weak squares in the position of the king. So that's why it looks good to play queen f3. Yeah. So in this position, of course, Magnus, he doesn't hurry up with taking the queen, so he just wants to improve position of his pieces first, yeah? So you remember he has advantage of two bishops. Yeah, maybe e7 is not the best place for the bishop, so that's why he just played bishop d6. So king f1 was played in this position, so just a move, maybe some preparation, maybe just like a typical move for this position. So, and black made rook b8. By the way, interesting moment. I watched the game and on Chess Bomb, it's a popular website, and I saw that Magnus played Rook C8. So I was like, okay, what is the reason of playing Rook C8? I mean, like you can play C5 without the Rook, so why did he do this? And computer, like Stockfish, probably also said that this move is not so good and White gets advantage. But probably it was just a mistake of the broadcast because like several moves later, several moves after, I saw that he played rook b8, so just mistake on the chessboard. So Magnus did everything right. So let's discuss what is the idea of playing rook b8, yeah? So Tara, what do you think? Is it important for black to protect the bishop?
I think right now the bishop on b7 is not being attacked, but black may have a plan of a discovered attack. So that's why they protect the bishop first. So then they can do a discovered attack.
Yeah, of course. So he just maybe wants to play queen takes c5, yeah, so open diagonal and attack the white queen. So probably in this position, yeah, the best plan for white is to capture. And now we put the knight in the center because in this position, this knight also has a very good spot. It's b4. Yeah, you may think that in the center, the knight could be stronger than on the side of the chessboard. Yeah, let's say. But if the knight gets to b4, it attacks c2 and it makes some problems for white. That's why, again, this bishop has to move to d2. Yeah, doesn't look like the best position for the bishop. Yeah, so it's some moments, some details of the position. Yeah, what white has to do for the extra pawn. And in this position,
So
black just
why
played c5.
why they did the bishop to to d2 was they know that when we do our knight to b4, the knight is strong because it's threatening to fork both of the rooks. And if they play c they can't play c3 because then we make a fork.
Yeah, let me explain something. Yeah. So for instance, yeah, in this position, it's hard to protect the pawn, yeah, or even if the knight moves to c3, yeah, so probably something like rook e2, yeah, but I think the rook is too strong piece, yeah, for protecting the pawn. And actually, right now, we can see that rook is overworked, yeah, so the rook is protecting two pieces, and probably after bishop takes e5, black still can get the pawn, yeah. So that's why white should be careful, yeah, and white has to prevent black's plan, and that's why bishop d2 was played. Yeah.
And also, when black chose to capture with the knight, if they move their bishop to d5 instead of the knight to d5, the bishop is in the center, but the question is, what can the bishop do? And when you think about it, the bishop is open, it's aiming at all the areas, but it's not able to attack anything or create any threats.
I
So it's
agree.
better to do the knight to d5 because the knight has a plan to go to b4 and try to threaten something.
Yeah, also knight attacks more important squares like e3 and f4, and it could be a problem for white later, yeah, to improve position of the dark square bishop. Yeah, so c5, yeah, the last move that we're gonna discuss, like from the opening, or let's say like what middle game, end game, yeah, because queens have gone from the chessboard. So of course, black just wants to control more space, control d4, yeah, and I don't think that Magnus would be happy if Jan Nepomniachtchi played d4. So yeah, nice position. And here, yes, black has some small advantage and of course, really good compensation for the sacrificed pawn because black pieces are more active. Yeah, and maybe now we can go directly to the end of the game, yeah, to the positions that happened. Yeah, several moves before they shake their hands, yeah, and it was a draw. So yeah, you see that position has changed. Now white doesn't have any extra pawns anymore. Yeah, so white's pawn structure is not the best. Yeah, but at the same time, black should be careful with the pawn on a6. Yeah, maybe white also has some chances to attack it. So let's see what happened. Yeah, as you remember in the middle game, but of course in the end game, let's say during the whole game, it's really nice idea to improve position of your pieces. Yeah, so that's why I don't think that e3 is the perfect place, is the best place for the knight. So of course that's why Nepomniachtchi just played knight c4. Yeah, maybe he wants to have a knight on e5. Yeah, looks nice. So right now he just wants to make a fork. Yeah, because if the knight gets to e5, both of the rooks would be attacked. So black can't ignore this and have black has to change position for one of the rooks. Yeah, so rook e7 was played. So knight e5, rook d6. Yeah, because you see that the rook can't move from the 6th rank. It also has to protect the pawn. Yeah. And just Nepomniachtchi decided to repeat the position. So, and after this, they just agreed with a draw. So, yeah. But this endgame, I guess, looks equal. I don't think that, like, if your opponent doesn't help you and makes a mistake, yeah, probably it's very hard to do something and get a real advantage, and of course to win. So, probably draw is a good result for this position, and it's not a big surprise.
And also, the white pawns, all of them seem, most of them seem weak, but it's very hard to attack them because you can't move your rook to f4. There's no way to do that. It's very hard. The pawns are weak, but it's hard to target them.
Yeah.
So white has a weakness, but this position is very equal.
Yeah, these weak pawns, they are not on the open file, so of course it could be problem for black to attack them. Yeah, so for white, it's much easier to attack a6 because it's a half open file. So white can use rooks for attacking it. Yeah, so
I
nice
hope you
game.
enjoyed I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to others. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Bye.